We have people over here. Hi guys, am I audible to you? Can I have your reactions whether I'm audible or not? Please let me know because sometimes it happens that I have to reconnect. So anything in the chat box, just let me know I'm audible. Then we'll proceed ahead. Okay, let me just check. Hi everyone, very good evening. So I hope that I'm audible to you all clearly. Can I have your reactions from your end? So welcome to the series of understanding contract used in various industries. In this particular series, we have covered contracts used in real estate sector, IT industry, healthcare industry, media industry, and so far. And today's topic is sports contracts. So we are going to understand what type of contracts are used in sports industries. Our overall lecture is going to revolve around that. So do let me know in the chat box, like from where you are joining, which place you are joining, and what you are doing currently, whether you are in law college or whether you are a professional. So do let me know. Okay, during the session, if you have any doubt, you can drop your questions in the chat box as well. We'll be, answering to all your queries during the session. All right, so I'll just quickly share my screen with you. Then we can start with the session. Can I just have your confirmation that you guys can see the screen? Any type of reaction or heart or anything? So I just know that the screen is visible to you. Okay. Just make sure that you are all right, thank you, Preeti. Just make sure that you are asking all your queries in the chat box, okay? Whatever doubts you have, we are over here to have a proper understanding of the contracts used in sports industry. So let's just understand. Today is our episode 7. And let's understand what is sports contract and how it is different from your general contracts. We all know what is general contracts. Like when we think about contract, it's mainly that contract related to purchase or sell of a good. When we are purchasing something and we include clauses with related to your consideration, terms and conditions, and all these are included over there. But for each industry the contracts differ. There are separate needs and requirements of every industry. हर इंडस्ट्री के हिसाब से हमें कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स को मॉडिफाई करना पड़ता है बिकॉज हर एक सेक्टर की रिक्वायरमेंट्स अलग होती है. You cannot expect a person working in a factory to draft a contract for an IT company, right? Because the needs and requirements are completely different. So how sports contracts are different from your general contracts, let's understand that. Now when we talk about different sectors, each sectors are governed by different laws. हर sector, sports हो, healthcare हो, real estate हो, सबके लिए हमारे पास अलग अलग law है. We have different laws for each and every sector, correct? So when we are drafting contract, of course the essentials of contracts we have to consider, like whatever you have learned in law school with regard to Indian Contract Act, that you have to consider. Apart from that, what laws govern these topics? Like when I'm talking about sports, how the sports in India is governed by which laws, we also have to consider that, and accordingly we have to draft the contracts. Okay, so let's just quickly take a quick view of the laws governing sports in India. Okay, all right. So people who have joined right now, do let me know from where you are joining and make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, because today onwards we are planning to go live every day, and we are going to have a corporate law series where we are going to pick up a topic related to corporate and have a session on the same. So you can also give us your suggestions in the chat box on which topic you would like us to cover, next session on, and we'll happily cover that topic. All right, so let's understand which laws in India govern sports, and thereafter we'll be having understanding about contracts used in sports industry. Okay, so all right. So the first act which we have is the Sports Broadcasting Signals, that Act 2007. This particular act ensures that how the national interest can be protected. So there are certain rules with regard to who will be the, like, which channel will be the one having the broadcasting rights, where the particular sports match will be broadcasted or showed on the TV. So this particular act protects the national interests of the citizen. Reason is, there are many private channels who can purchase the broadcasting rights, that I'll be the one telecasting this particular sports, and no other channel will be having the right to telecast or broadcast this particular sports. So in that scenario, only people who are paying for the channel will be getting, access to the sports. That will be unfair. And in India, cricket is considered as a sports of national interest. Everyone have a separate love for cricket. So if I'm limiting it for limited people who have proper means to watch cricket, in that scenario the national interest is getting affected. So this particular act governs that, protects the national interests of the citizens, and allows that on which platforms the sports event can be broadcasted. Next is your the Prevention of Doping in Sports Act. So doping refers to your use of drugs by the athletes, or okay, so how these laws are properly protected, what are the rules and regulations that every athlete has to follow in order to be considered as qualified for performing in that particular match. This particular act governs that. Next is your the Public Gambling Act 1867. This particular law governs your gambling and betting in India. Sports betting is considered mainly illegal, but some states have legalized and regulated betting. So Sikkim and Goa, over there betting is kind of regulated. To some extent it is allowed, but of course legal norms are applicable. But in most part of the India, it is considered as an illegal activity. So this act governs your gambling and betting. Next is your labor and employment laws. Now, sometimes the sports athlete who are performing in the match, they are also hired for a particular event. They are also hired as an employee, or the coaches that we hire to train the athletes. So with them, we are entering into a separate contract. This particular law governs that. Labor and employment law also governs, it's just not related to your sports, but we can use it in sports as well. Altogether, labor and employment law, we all know that it governs the rights of the employees and the obligations of the employers, right? Next is your Indian Contract Act. We all know that the all the contracts are governed in India by way of your Indian Contract Act 1872. Lastly, Copyright Act and Trademark Act. Now, in sports, copyright and trademark, the intellectual property rights also play a role over here. Intellectual property rights are just not limited to your businesses, they play a huge role in creative work as well, in sports as well, and in all the domains. So, if you are someone who want to create your career in corporate, go for intellectual property rights. Be aware of how to file for intellectual property, trademark, copyright, and patent. And in fact, at Ledroid, we also have a course on intellectual property rights filing. We every month we have a live course on the same, so you can check out that as well. Okay, so I believe we have gotten a basic idea about laws, right? So this is a live session. You wouldn't be getting any certificate for this. This is for knowledge purpose. If you are interested in knowing about sports contracts, do refer to the videos. Okay. People who have joined for the first time, just wanted to make sure that we are going to have a series on corporate law here onwards. So from tomorrow as well, we are going to go live at a particular timing. You'll be notified. So I hope you all have joined the WhatsApp group of Ledroid. Over there we are going to notify you about daily topics. Okay, all right, now let's understand about your how much you can charge per sports contract. Money, everyone thinks about money. Even you are doing law, you want to earn out of it, right? So, and especially contract drafting is the skill through which you can earn even when you are studying right now, by way of freelancing. So if you are aware of how to draft contracts, you can start earning before even you have passed out your law college. So this is the skill that every lawyer should be aware of. You should be aware of how to draft contracts. So let's just quickly understand how much you can expect to charge based on per contract. As I said, every industry have their different demands. Her industry की demand अलग होती है, so you should be having knowledge about that as well. So for basic contracts, if it's a small contract, you can charge starting 15,000 per agreement. It can also rise up to 1 lakh and above. So accordingly, based on the complexity and the amount of law you have to think of and check rules and regulations that you have to check the compliances, based on that you can charge your fee. Or you can also charge per hour if the contract involves a lot of research and complex scenarios. You can also charge based on hour, 5,000 to 20,000 per hour. So many law firms charge based on hourly fees, or they altogether charge a retainer fee. Retainer fee is something when the law firms are kind of booked by companies or a person to be available for them whenever needed. All right. Or there's another way of charging, that you can demand a particular amount based on the contract value. So whatever is the contract value, based on that you can charge your fees. So these are the methods and the normal scenario how much you can charge per sports contract. All right. So before we proceed ahead, let's just quickly understand the famous napkin agreement. Since we are talking about sports contract, this particular agreement is highly famous and you should be aware of. As a lawyer, we are of thinking that in order to draft an agreement, everything should be in proper manner and so. But you know, this $1 billion agreement was drafted on a napkin. So Messi and Barcelona, the first agreement they had in December 2000, they were sitting at the restaurant, and over there, the Barcelona director, he wanted to hire Messi. So in order to fix the terms and conditions on spot and to fix the deal, he wrote the terms and conditions on a napkin. Napkin में उन्होंने terms and conditions लिख दी, and based on that only, he directly like fixed Messi that from here onwards Messi will be playing for Barcelona. So later on, this agreement was converted into a proper formalized agreement, but this agreement was actually the first one, and it was also auctioned at around 300,000 pounds. So yeah, napkin agreements also are considered as valid, provided that an agreement should be having all essentials of contracts. Okay, do let me know if you have any doubt or any query. Feel free to mention them in the chat box. Okay. All right. So now let's start with the contracts that you guys have been waiting for. We have several type of contracts. In this particular session, we are going to understand nearly around 10 to 11 contracts that are used in sports industry. Okay, you can also check for other industry contracts by checking out a YouTube channel. We have covered so far real estate sector, IT sector, and media and law sector, and healthcare sector. So you can check out those videos as well. All right, so let's start with our first agreement, that is your player contracts and employment contracts. What this contract basically says, we'll be understanding this with the help of examples as well. Okay, well, player contracts, this means the athletes. Let's say Virat Kohli, if he is being hired to play for a particular match, he has the first step he has to do is he has to sign the contract for the team he's playing for, or for the particular event he's playing for. So if for IPL the players are selected, they are actually hired, right? So they have to sign a separate player contract with the team. Accordingly, in this particular contract, we are going to discuss about for how long player will be playing, how much salary he'll be getting, whether he'll be getting any performance based bonuses as well or not, what will happen if any injury is caused, or whether medical insurances are covered or not, whether he can opt out of the match or not. So all these things will be covered under your player contracts. Okay, next is your sponsorship and endorsement contract. So sponsorship contracts basically refers to, we all know that when players are playing matches on the ground, you must have noticed they are wearing several jerseys that have brand logos, or anything they are in, like in their attire you'll be finding several logos, or at the back of the match you'll be finding several posters attached of different brands like Nike, Adidas, and so. So what are these? How, why they are wearing the jerseys if they are playing the brand? someone is sponsoring them, someone is paying for the event. These things are covered under your sponsorship and endorsement contract. When a player is kind of promoting something officially, okay, in the match he's wearing the jersey, that is sponsoring the event, like promoting the brand that has given money to the event, that is sponsoring. Endorsement comes when the player connects his identity with the brand. So there are so many famous cricketers and athletes who have promoted several brands. Like for Boost, Complan, earlier Sachin Tendulkar used to come, right? So for MRF bats, Sachin Tendulkar used to promote it. So they have connected their identity with the brand. This way, they are benefiting the brands in getting audience, in getting more clients. Because what usually happens, even when the actors promote something, people follow the thing, right? People follow whatever their famous cricketer or actor celebrity is promoting. So endorsement contract and sponsorship contracts cover amount of fees that the particular sports person will be charging, the athlete will be charging, how his image is going to be utilized. So in this particular scenario, we are going to cover, like, if Sachin Tendulkar has agreed for advertisement, like he has agreed to get clicked with the MRF bat for advertisement purpose. Now someone else is using this particular video, advertisement video, for promoting something else, whether that is allowed or not. So all these things will be covered under your sponsorship and endorsement contracts, and for how long the particular athlete is going to promote for that particular brand, that is also covered over here. So far, are we guys understanding everything? Okay. Yes, Aryan, Apollo in today's sponsor for Indian men team. Correct. All right. Next, understand about your broadcasting and media rights contracts. This is the very interesting topic. Okay. So what happens? You must have heard about whenever there is a special event going on, like a World Cup match or any cricket match that is going on to be. There is a special announcement that you can watch it live on Disney Plus Hotstar, or you can watch it on Star Sports. What are these? Why specific channel is declaring that? Why specific channel is declaring that? Reason is they have purchased the broadcasting rights from the team. So with BCCI, if any particular match is going to be held, if Star Sports have paid to BCCI to purchase the broadcasting rights, that means the first live, like I am getting all the rights to broadcast this match live, no other channel is getting the right to broadcast this channel live. So what will happen, all the public, all the traffic will go to that one particular channel, right? Now this broadcaster will be having right to decide to whom he can sub license the rights. So if Star Sports has got the right to broadcast the cricket match live on TV, whether he's allowing All India Radio, or whether he's allowing Disney Plus Hotstar to live stream that event on online OTT platforms, or whether he's allowing the radio channel to provide live commentary on the sports event. So other channels have to purchase the license from this main broadcasting channel who has purchased the right to broadcast the event live. Now if anyone else wants to broadcast this, they have to pay a particular fee for this particular event, and then they can further broadcast it on their channels. That is the meaning of your broadcasting and media rights contract. The reason uh, channels do this, so that they can get more audience, they can get more traffic on their platform, and they can eventually earn through it. All right, so I hope you guys are finding the topic very interesting, right? So next is your coaching and support staff contracts. Now sports is just not limited to the players who are playing. There's a lot of team who has supported them in the background, who has helped them in the training, and so there will be doctors who are properly tracking the health of the athlete, there will be coaches who are properly providing them training, physiotherapists, and so on, right? There are so many people who help uh, to an athlete to finally perform in a match. So we'll be entering into separate contract with the coaches and the supporting staff, what will be their roles and responsibilities, how much they'll be paid, and also NDA. NDA is a document that will be going along with all the events. So whatever we have talked about so far, non-disclosure agreement is the only agreement that is used in every industry. That is very important for a lawyer to be aware of how to draft a non-disclosure agreement. Okay, why do we enter into an NDA? So that these coaches and the support staff who are directly in touch with the athlete, they don't leak out any information, they don't spread out any personal activity performance information to any third party. So NDA will also come in handy when we are talking about coaching and support staff contracts. Next is your collective bargaining agreements. These agreements are mainly negotiated between leagues and players unions to set overall employment terms. So when a whole team is hired particularly for one match, at that time collective bargaining is done, right? So how much each player will be given, whether they'll be given based on performances, how they'll be paid, all for how long they are going to play, against whom they are going to play, all these things will be covered in this particular agreement. Great. So now let's move on to the next type of agreements, that is your sports agency and representation contract. Now, every athlete is being kind of managed by a sports agency. There's a person who is representing, right? Who is handling all the things on the back end, because once a person get famous, especially the cricketers, once they get famous, they'll be reached out by a lot of brands, and there should be someone who is managing that. Okay, I am the one, I'm the agent, you can reach out to me, we'll decide, we'll communicate further with the athlete. If we are good to go, so then we'll talk again about the terms and conditions. So this particular agency is kind of a point of contact for that sports athlete, right? So we should be entering into a separate agreement with this particular agency as well. So earlier, Virat Kohli agency was like Virat Kohli contracts and everything was managed by Cornerstone Sports and Entertainment. So they used to manage everything. So for mainly all the cricketers, celebrities, and all, they have a separate talent management consultancy or a sports agency that guide them with their career objectives and also guide them with what type of brands they should, uh, consider promoting, and so in this particular contract, we are going to talk about how much rights these agents have, whether they have the right to sign the contract on behalf of the athlete or not, to what extent they are representing him, how much salary or percentage they are getting for per contract, and so all these things will be covered in your this particular agreement. Next is your collective image rights agreements. So you are, when you're playing a match, you are just not representing yourself, because it's a team play, there's a whole team behind it, and all together you guys have won a match, or whatever the performance of the match is, the whole team has contributed to it. So in this particular agreement, if altogether a team is promoting something, the collective image rights, how to use the image, the team image, that will be covered over here. So the purpose of this contract is to where the images, names, and public rights of the whole team altogether will be used. If any brand is particularly, let's say, Adidas. Jersey of Adidas is worn by overall basketball team. So in that scenario, there will be a team picture if they have won a prize or something, where that picture can be used. How much authority the person clicking the picture has to share that image, where that particular picture can be used, how much fee that will be paid to each player, everything will be governed under this particular agreement. Next is your sports data and analytics agreement. This is again very tricky kind of agreement. So when it's about match, so far we covered that we have to be considerate about the brands we are representing, the sponsors, and there's a separate agreement with the sports staff and the agencies as well. In this particular agreement, even the health records of the athletes are also properly tracked down, they are also kept in record, as well as the match statistics, how much is being scored currently, all the data, strike rate, and everything, that is also being properly tracked down. Now where this data is going to be used, just give me a guess, where do you think, if I'm collecting the data of the match, how this particular data can be beneficial, for whom this data can be beneficial. Do let me know and think about it. Correct, betting. For betting, people are going to use this data. Even the data related to the health of the athlete, that is also being considered. So there should be proper consideration, like how I'm going to utilize the data. Nowadays there is so many technologies that have come, that track your heart rate, that track how, like, with what speed you have run, and so right. So if the data of any athlete is being recorded on a particular device, that particular company is getting access to that data, they can misuse it as well. So the athlete will be entering into separate agreement with that agency as well, and can also enter into ND to make sure that they are not misusing the data. They are not leaking out his medical history. Second, with regard to the match data, that is mainly purchased by your so many fantasy games that have come, like your Dream 11 and so many other MPL, so many other companies have come, right? Gaming platforms are there where betting is done to a certain extent. Over there, these particular datas are utilized. So a separate purchase is done to purchase the sports data as well. So you can understand, sports is just not about that players are playing and the team is there. It's a lot about statistics and the analytics related to the same, how much score they are getting, what's the health rate, and so. Next is your anti-doping and medical agreements. In this particular thing, remember we talked about doping. What is doping? That you must have watched this on particular movies as well, especially if you are a sports person, that athletes are not allowed to take particular drugs which can help them in improving their performance. So before any match they are properly tested whether they are under consumption of any drugs or not. So their blood test is done, urine test is done, proper medical checkup is done to make sure that they are not under any drugs consumption right now, and they are performing based on how they are naturally fit. So in anti-doping and medical agreements, you are kind of taking consent of the athlete that they have not taken any type of drugs, and they are performing in this match with all legal means only. Okay, in case it turns out that they had taken any drugs or anything, proper legal action will be taken against them. So it's more like taking a consent from them, that you are agreeing that you haven't taken any drugs or any supplement to that can impact your performance. So majorly they have to comply with the agencies, like rules and regulations provided by your WADA and NADA, that is World Anti-Doping Agency, and we have another is National Anti-Doping Agency, who mainly keep a track of the athletes whether they have taken any drugs or not. Okay. Next, we have is your stadium naming and sponsorship rights agreements. So there are so many stadiums that are named after famous athletes. Can you think of any stadium? Do let me know in the chat box any famous stadium that is named after any athlete. Okay. So what these particular agreements do? In these particular agreements, the athlete is kind of giving away his name rights to be used as the name of the stadium. So he's kind of agreeing that okay, you can use my name, the person's name, the athlete's name, in naming the stadium. So even we have the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, right? Then we have this particular thing, Arsenal Stadium in Dubai, right? So they have given away their right. They have allowed the people who have created the stadium that they can use their name. So kind of when athletes are there, their personal identity, they are their self brand. Lawyers as well, you are your own brand, and athletes are their own brand. How do they promote, how do they get famous? Based on the performance, based on their performance. So if someone wants to associate your name with their stadium, you are giving away your rights, and in exchange you are going to charge them a certain fee. For that you are going to charge them certain fee because you have given your name to be utilized for naming the stadium. Next is your okay, let's move on to your next slide. Great. We are left with just two more agreements. Make sure that you have liked, subscribe to the channel, because we are going to go live every day now. Okay. I'm actually opting for the 30-day live streak. So be supportive. Please be there. All right. So next is your anti-corruption and integrity agreement. In this particular agreement, you are kind of taking consent from the athletes that they are not going to take any corruption, any amount apart from the fees they are getting. So in even in your government jobs and other areas as well, you have to sign anti-corruption agreement. Even in your employment as well, you have to sign anti-corruption agreement. You are basically agreeing that you are not going to participate in any corrupting activity. Also, you are going to play with proper fair play, honesty and integrity. Another thing is, in case there is any suspicious activity that you find, it will you are taking up the responsibility that you're if you're aware of it, you will be reporting about it as well. So it's kind of mandatory agreement that every athlete needs to sign before they perform in a match. Okay. Next is your so mainly these type of events, like anti-corruption and all, that happens in IPL as well in India, because of which BCCI had to tighten their contractual norms in all their agreements, taking consent from all the athletes that they are going to report about any type of corruption activity. Lastly, the last agreement is your investment and business partnership agreement. Now, once the cricketer gets famous, they are celebrity in India. All the athletes, mainly Neeraj Chopra, he also kind of started promoting so many brands, right? So what they are doing, they are promoting several brands, so they are running a side kind of business. They are for sure earning income from the matches and all, but by way of promotion and endorsement, they are earning extra. So how they, with which type of brands they are partnering, or which particular brand is promoting what, all these things will be governed under this. So in fact, in IPL there are so many teams, right? And several teams are hired, and a particular company invest in hiring those teams. Mumbai Indians are mainly owned by your Reliance Industries, right? So what they do, they invest in the particular team, in purchasing the players and bidding, and also revenue sharing and all these things. How much investment is going to be done, where how many players are going to partner with your team, all these things will be covered under your investment and business partnership agreements. So with that, we have come to an end of today's session of sports contracts. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then do sure subscribe to our channel. And if you are someone who is interested in learning drafting, we also have a contract drafting course. Every month we go live, like live courses are there, where you'll be learning how to draft a contract from basics. So we cover everything from scratch. If you want to learn, you can check out www.ledroitindia.in, and you can also learn from our YouTube channel as well. So as I said, we'll be going live, so you'll be having understanding of various contracts. Our next session is going to be about your this thing, yeah, with how to create your career in corporate law, what are the things you should consider, step by step process, and so on. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this session. um okay, great. All right, then. Thank you everyone for joining. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, and we'll be hoping to see you all tomorrow as well. Okay, stay connected with Ledroit on several platforms. Thank you everyone for joining.